Hello everyone, this is my first devlog. I am currently developing a 2D action game in C++ and I'm planning on using SFML instead of any existing game engine. In this devlog, I've worked on creating the player animations, the first boss monster and all the monsters within the first level, and also designing the level itself. As you can see in the background, I have already created the character. Now, before I did that, I worked on creating a game design document because I heard or I read online that would be the best way to get started on, developing a game. So I just noted down some simple, the idea, basically what it was. I went online and I found this blog on how to create a game design document or how to write a game design document with examples. It's on Game Dev Beginner. So I just read it and then kind of followed the guidelines that it gave me. After creating this, now I'm not exactly great at art. It's not really my strong suit. So instead of doing it entirely myself, I kind of programmed a simple script. That's the script I'm showing you right now. It's basically just average pooling, wherein I enlarged the pixels within the image. I wrote a simple Python script to do that, and I used tk-enter so that I just have an interface and a preview of what the image would look like. Anyway, that is what I used for developing the boss monster, or creating the boss monster. I just found an image I really liked on Pinterest and just kind of changed it up a little bit and used that. Here you can see me creating one of the spell attacks that my main character has. This one was actually very fun. It was my first time creating any kind of animations, especially 2D animations. It was also my first time using a sprite at all. So I just created an animation. I just thought of what each spell was supposed to mean, and then just kind of went with it. Tried to emulate what idea I had in my head and just tried to get it onto the canvas. And then I kind of skipped over a lot. By the time I started recording, I'd forgotten to record the level design. But yeah, I've also completed the level design for the entire first level. There's 4 rooms in the first level, and this is one of the rooms. Actually, you can see me just fixing up some of the imports. I had actually just set them up in different files and folders, set up the files in different folders, and I just had to fix the imports on Tiled. Now, Tiled isn't exactly the best choice for this because I'm doing it entirely in C++ and SFML, and it's not exactly a great choice because Tiled gives me JSON files, and now I'd have to write a whole script to read that JSON and get a tile map. But at this point I'd actually finished the entire first level, and I thought might as well just create that input file and write that program so that maybe in future projects I'd be able to use it. I've been going on about the process of what I've done so far, but I believe I forgot to tell you about what the game is. The game is meant to represent emotions in a symbolic way. Instead of telling a direct story, the world, the enemies, they all together represent different emotional states. The character that you're playing, the player character, moves through the environments that reflect these feelings. These bosses act as manifestations of stronger emotions that you as the player have to confront. The goal isn't to defeat enemies but to move through and understand these challenges. Each encounter represents a different struggle, and overcoming them pushes your character forward. So the gameplay is kind of like a metaphor, and it can be you confronting your own emotions or you helping someone confront theirs. It can be anything that you wish for it to be. The goal for me when I thought of this game idea
is that it should be completely up to the player to interpret the meaning of this game. And as for the different stages or emotions that I've chosen or that are being represented within this game, I've chosen them because they're kind of the first things that one would experience when it comes to negative emotions in your life. So that's kind of what I chose.
So for the first level, I kind of went with that desert or I'd say like desert ruin feel. And for the next one, I plan on doing a dungeon, and then we'll move on from there. I don't have a particular idea as to what I want for the third level. Obviously, given my rather poor art skills, I'd really have to focus on using audio and dialogue to get my point across, or get to get the game. I'd have to use audio and good dialogue in order to make the game meaningful. Anyway, so far I've finished the animation for all monsters in the first level. I've finished designing the first level. I have an idea of its implementation. Now I've also learned the basics of SFML and how it works and how I'd use it for my project. That's about it. I focused on doing this first because for whatever reason I felt that unless I had a map and a character and some enemies, I would not be able to actually work on developing it. And obviously I know now that it is wrong, but since I'd already started, I thought, what the hell, might as well do it, and I finished with this. I'm hoping to finish the implementation of the basic things like the player character, movement, camera, and kind of get like a system set up so that going forward I just have to design the level and the monsters, and I could just handle the rest. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you like the concept. I may not have explained it very well, but I hope I will see you in the next devlog.